Hey everyone, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, I'm 30 in less than a month now. This is petrifying. This is my April wrap-up part 1. I'm not happy about the fact that it is April, or that it is almost May, or that it is almost my birthday. However, I have some books to speak to you about. So, besides reading, I have been a little bit busy lately. I decided to buy a piano, and I have been practicing. I'm going to insert a video of me learning a song, Faded by Alan Walker. What do you think? I mean, considering I have probably practiced for about maybe a couple of hours in the last couple of days in total, so I'm really happy with that. I have no idea how to read music, and I'm literally, the way that I'm doing it is going on YouTube, looking at people and where they place their fingers on the piano, and then writing that down, studying it meticulously, and then doing it myself, which is probably a really hard way to go about it, and I really should just learn to read music, but I like to make things difficult for myself. Cheers. Anyway, so besides music, I haven't really been writing. I've had some writer's block, so I've read a couple of books this month so far. The first one being The Last Flight by Julie Clark. So when I read the premise of this book, I knew that I had to read it. I think I heard about it just before moving to Spain, like, what was that, like just over a year ago now, and I was putting the book off because flying is something that I am quite scared of. I do get very anxious on flights. Like, I love it. I mean, like, you know what, like, I was in helicopters with my ex and all that kind of stuff, and I've travelled to more countries than I can count, but I am quite scared of flying. So this book is all like centers around this like plane crash and how it impacts lives and stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, I actually cannot read that while I'm about to go travelling. So I've been putting it off, but then eventually I was like, okay, COVID-19's here, I'm not going to go flying for a while, let's read it. The Last Flight is about like these two women who just really want to flee from their like proverbial handcuffed lives, and during like this chance meeting in this airport, they decide to swap tickets. So they're both like full of hope that this is their brand new start to a new life away from their abusive husbands. But then nothing can really prepare one of the characters, Claire, from realizing that the flight that she was supposed to be on crashed, and every passenger on board actually died. Obviously, I mean, not often someone survives a plane crash, I'm sure, which is why I'm scared. So Claire realizes very quickly that this isn't just a new start, it's a brand new life, because technically she is now dead. So she assumes this new identity of this girl that she swapped tickets with. Obviously, she feels like terrible that this woman's now died and it was supposed to be her. But she quickly realizes, once she adopts this new life, that it's not quite as hunky-dory as she may have thought it might be. So I loved the start of this book. It was so fast-paced, so thrilling. It was just such a powerful start and had so much promise. It tackled really like heavy topics such as like abusive marriages and a woman that has a very controlling partner that she just really wants to get away from. Unfortunately, though, the second half of the book wasn't quite as enamouring. It fell flat. And I realised while I was reading it, and when I put the book down in the end, I was like, nothing much at all really happened. Like, the main character just started living this very much mundane life, yet still spying on her husband and kind of cocking up along the way, like making herself in danger. And yeah, I guess, like, to be honest, the second half of the book just bored me. The twist wasn't memorable. I wasn't that invested in any of the characters' lives. It's not the best book I've ever read. It's okay. I think I gave it like a 3-star review. Then, if you watch my previous video, you already know what I think about this book. I read Misery by Stephen King, and that's it. I'm done with Stephen King. Absolutely, totally done with him. Ugh. I rated this book a 1 star out of 5 because I had to rate it in order to review it. Basic premise. Lunatic woman abducts this author, demanding him to finish a series that she's obsessed with. He is crippled because she's basically like hacked off one of his foot, so he can't technically do anything besides just sit there and write. You can't get out how Stephen King fits over a 400-page novel into a premise like that with this guy that's just stuck in a house in a wheelchair writing. I have no idea. Even like, you know, there have been books where the book in the book element is kind of really cool. However, I just did not give a monkey's ass about like the chapters where he was writing this novel. Misery, I don't know. It was awful. Honestly, I just found it so problematic, on par with Bret Easton Ellis, American Psycho, racist, sexist, disgusting. Dude wanted to, like, literally said, oh, I'm just going to rape you because it's all I can do. I was just like, oh, it's just filthy, horrible, riled me up, made me angry. The writing was shit. Stephen King's writing, sorry, is shit. I think he's an awful author that uses far too many descriptions, and like he can spend like 15 pages describing a freaking windowsill, for God's sake. Not to mention the fact that his sentences, I'm sure when I was in school, like the limit was 15 words per sentence, and that's like chancing it. His sentences were like pages long. It's just like and like, take a breath, put a full stop, just no. I just don't like it. I don't like Stephen King. Nope. And I really had high hopes for this book because I had thought, because it wasn't full of that ridiculous monsters and unbelievable paranormal shit, that it would be a more believable story and maybe I would connect with it, especially as it was about a writer. But no. Then I finally finished a book that I have been reading since moving to England, called Vegan Keto by John Paradox. So when I first moved here, I was living with a friend who was vegan. So I was trying to adopt this lifestyle, and I did it, like, for the most part for 4 months, with the occasional slip up of steak or roast chicken and a lot of eggs, because, you know, I love it. However, while I was being a good little vegan, I felt incredible. My body just felt so much more energized. I lost weight. I was intermittent fasting a lot. My running improved. Everything was just like, whoa. And I kind of wish that I could adopt the vegan lifestyle, but your girl just loves steak too much. I'm a foodie. I can't be restricted like that. I'll be miserable. But yes, I read this book start to finish finally, and it was really good. Very, very helpful for if you are new to the vegan lifestyle. Takes you through horrific things that animals have to endure in order for us to get things like milk and cheese and stuff, which is just awful, really. Yeah. It's a very informative book, very eye-opening, filled with like recipes. So if you're new, it kind of like, it's a nice hand-holding guide into the vegan / keto way of life. Yeah, I gave this book a 5-star review because I thought it was very helpful and good. Then a book that I just finished today was Single Mother by Samantha Hayes. I loved it. Oh, just loved it. But as always, I did have qualms with it, but let me tell you about the premise first. So, premise is single mother who is struggling horrifically with her finances receives this letter in the mail basically saying, oh yeah, like, you've just inherited a hotel and a whole bunch of money, and she was just like, oh yeah, whatever, and she thinks it's spam, but then realizes, holy shit, it's not spam at all, it's real. Like, her entire life is about to change. Like, this is a woman who sometimes has to like starve in order to like go hungry at night in order to feed her own child, because they are struggling that much. And now suddenly she realizes like her whole life is about to change. Like, they're going to have a brand new start, away from her abusive husband who is fresh out of jail. So they get to this hotel and then realize they think it's too good to be true, and then very quickly realize it is too good to be true. The hotel is very run down. It comes with this like enigma of a full-time resident who doesn't speak. No one really knows much about her. She kind of lurks around and frightens away all the guests that they do get. The hotel comes with this like skeleton crew of funny, weird employees that are hell-bent on making her not very welcome, from like making her like curry flavoured cupcakes or putting glass in her soup. All sorts of weird, bizarre things go on, not to mention the human remains found on the ground. So yes, far from a perfect new start in life. And then the daughter goes missing. And she thinks it might be the husband that has found them and tracked them down and stolen the daughter. So that's the basic premise of that. And I could not put it down. I was hooked from the first page. It was fun, entertaining, riveting, suspenseful. Every single character arouses some kind of level of suspicion, which I really like in a book. I definitely say it's more so a mild thriller, perfect for beginners in the thriller genre, or for those that enjoy their thrillers not being very freaky or gory. Yeah, the qualms I had with this book. I didn't really feel like the main character, Mel, the mum, I didn't really think that she was a very strong character. Like, I get that she really wanted to protect her daughter and she was doing everything she could to give her the best life that she possibly could. However, in so doing, I found that her character kind of like tiptoed around her little 12-year-old daughter too much. And, you know, the daughter was doing some seriously questionable stuff that could have put them both in massive danger. And Mel doesn't confront her. She doesn't, like, she just wasn't a very strong character in my opinion, and that really got to me throughout the book. I also did find it relatively predictable, so I ended up giving it a 4-star review, because even so, I really did enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, it's the second Samantha Hayes book I read. I wasn't quite as enamoured by the first one, which I think was called Date Night or something. But yes, I'll definitely continue with this author, and I think, you know, first book was I think a 3-star review from me. Now this one is a 4, so I'm hoping to enjoy whatever she comes out with next, and just seeing her grow as an author. I think that's fantastic. So yeah, they're the books that I've read this month so far. I have still been reading Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. I haven't been doing much physical reading lately because I've been so bloody busy doing everything other than reading when I can, but I will get around to it, because I do also have You Love Me by Caroline Kepnes, the 3rd book in the You series, which I have been very, very excited for. So I will be carving out some time to read that. Let me know how your April is going, and tell me when your birthday is, if you get to this part of the video, because I'd love to know when everyone's birthdays are. Mine is just under a month away now, 15th of May. I don't want a birthday this year. I don't have anyone to celebrate it with. Like, I'm really sad. At least the pubs are open. That's positive. It's like my big 3-0. I want to, like, I don't know, like all my best girlfriends and stuff, they're all in South Africa or like overseas. Yeah, I'm just like a bit like, oh, not exactly how I thought I'd spend my 30th, but there you go. If you're over the age of 30, let me know what you did on your 30th. Have a lovely day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.